All right, so there is a ton of leadership material out there, right? There's a ton of books on leadership, courses out there. There's all kinds of stuff. There's tons of information. And a lot of it, there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that maybe is overly academic. There's a lot of stuff that, yeah, it's a theory, but how do I apply this? And that tends to be the problem. You look at it, you read something, you go to a class, and then you say, well, how do I apply this? How do I actually, how is this going to affect my day to day? What am I going to do? And it can become this something I've heard recently where it's this loop of I'm just chasing more information, and you're not really sitting there and thinking through it. And I think sometimes that's what you need when an easy thing to do is when you're driving in your car, right? A lot of us, I know a lot of firefighters have longer commutes. You may not have super long commutes, but still you have a commute there. I like to listen to a lot of podcasts. We do a podcast. This is a podcast, right? But sometimes just turn that off and just think about stuff. Think about situations and things you've learned and how you would apply that. Figure out how that actually works in the world that you're in, the situations that you're in. I mean, I know we've all had this experience where you're in the shower and you're just in the shower and you start thinking about things, right? Because your mind is not being bombarded with information and just talking and everything else. You actually have time to think through concepts and ideas, and things will strike you. Whoa, I'm in the shower. I wish I could write this down right now. So I don't know. I've realized the value of that more so over time. I mean, you can find ways to do that, whatever it is. I mean, I have just personal things I like doing. I have a fire pit in my backyard. I love sitting out there in the evening, sometimes with my wife, and just out there. Maybe we talk a little, sometimes by myself. And it's a moment where I can think through things. I'll do, whatever, go on a walk or something. Just go on a walk without listening to anything, doing anything. Just go on the walk and you start thinking through things. Or you're jogging, you go for a run and you start thinking through things without music, without other distractions. And like I said, there's all this information, but just chasing more information isn't going to get you to the destination. You have to understand how that information, how the leadership concepts and ideas you're learning, do they actually have value in your world? Because they don't always. There's a lot of stuff out there that is just academic, that person has written but never applied. They're in some kind of university setting or had very little contact with people, and especially people in the job. What we do is unique if you think about it. We go in there and you're a leadership role, an officer, or maybe a senior firefighter, and you're with these people for usually a 24-hour shift. You're eating with them. Sometimes they're preparing your food. You're preparing food for them. You're like a family, right? So a lot of those family dynamics, unlike a job, come into play. Where a normal job, 9 to 5, you're in your own little space. You're not eating with these people. You're not up at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're beat down and you're tired. And leadership looks a little different in a corporate, conference room or office setting than it does in ours. And even, military or sports, there's a lot of stuff we can look at in that, but it doesn't always translate. There's a difference. There's a uniqueness about our situation and how we deal with stuff we see, stuff we have to do, fatigue, the family atmosphere. And you need time to think through that, learn stuff, get immersed in, leadership content, but at the same time, you have to step away from that. Take time to reflect on it. Maybe write some stuff down, come up with some frameworks, some ideas. I mean, that's what I'm obsessed with here. What I like doing and what I'm trying to pass on is I really want to give people a framework of making decisions, a way of going about leading other people in the fire department and getting the best for them and for the people that we're trying to help. So you got to have some time for you got to have some time for reflection. Are you gonna be able to cut that out? That
I like it.
or we can leave it.
Yeah, I think you should leave it.